Disappointing earnings from 3M and Caterpillar taking the markets on a wild ride today and underscoring a key trend this earnings season, selling. Dom Chu's in the newsroom breaking down all of the big earnings losers and some of the surprising winners. Dom.
Well, Melissa, this earnings season so far has been about the haves and the have-nots. It's a tale of two cities, the best times, the worst of times, whatever you want to call it. Today's trading action continued that trend. Now, the analysts over at Bespoke Investment Group looked at the average one-day price action of companies that have reported so far this season. They found that around three-quarters of them so far have posted a stock drop, meaning, at least for now, it appears as though there's a sell the news type feel to the market. Some of that negativity is carrying through to more than just a day. If you look at shares of Netflix, which are now down around 4% since its earnings report after an initial pop. Shares of Bank of America have slid by around 5% since its earnings report. And then there's Big Blue, IBM, still struggling to convince investors that its growth initiatives will set itself up for success longer term. Those shares are currently down around 10% since its earnings report. But it's not all negative. For the accentuate the positive, folks, there are gainers on the heels of earnings as well. For example, you look at a stock like McDonald's today closing up around 6%. Yes, it's only one day. We'll see if those gains hold. Or a stock like PayPal, which is up 13% since its report. It's also posted 3 straight days worth of gains. Now, it is, again, still relatively early in the earnings season, Melissa, but we're going to be paying close attention to whether or not that whole sell the news mentality ends up prevailing or not. Back over to you.
All right, Dom, thanks. Dom Chu in the newsroom. Well, given all of these moves.
Well, I feel like we need this. The morale on the desk is down. It would be a good time to play a game.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. I think you're right.
I hate to butt in like that, but I just.
I think what we're going to do is play a little trade it or fade it.
Love this game.
All right, I'm not.
Are Guy and Dan going to be on the same team?
I guess. Yes.
Let's start with the biggest loser out of IBM. Pete, you trade it or fade it?
I think at this point in time, you still can trade it. I actually own this stock. I am still
IBM.
I do, but I am waiting for some possible changes because I am disappointed, like everybody was. That's why the stock is down as far as it is. Because post earnings, when we heard what went on in the earnings, the growth has slowed again, and that's a problem. That's a problem because they were growing, and now they're slowing.
So, I mean, because
I think there's an opportunity
now
going
I want to go on to their team.
Okay,
because
no, you can't.
There's zero growth there. So you actually think
there's not zero growth? They have plenty of growth. It has slowed down from where it was. That's the problem in their strategic area.
Okay, so I mean to formalize my view in this game, I would fade IBM.
All right.
In red.
Bank of America.
Yeah.
Guy, trade it or fade it?
So look, I'm going to get. There's going to be a lot of blowback when I say what I'm going to do. So this is trade it or fade, or buy it or deny it. But I'm going to say fade it. Now look, I've tried to be. Dan said something again. Back to Dan Nathan. Last night, Dan started the show saying Guy is being lazy, and I went home. The whole car ride home, I thought about it.
I actually texted you that after the show. I did not say it on air.
No, you said it on air.
I don't think I
said it on air. You said that's a lazy answer. I remember everything.
And I texted it to you.
No, but I thought a lot about it. And at a certain point, and I said it on the show last night, I've tried to build this bullish case for banks, and the banks just keep going lower.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you're wrong. RONG wrong. I'm wrong. Bank of America just reported 4 analysts have price targets from 34 to 36. Mazel tov, I say, and maybe they're going to be right. But I will tell you this. Book value in the stock is $24.25. Citi trades at book value. Maybe Bank of America should be trading there as well.
I disagree. I actually think it does go higher, but you have to be patient, just like you had to be with the pharma names. Look at the pharma names now. Everybody wants to run to the pharma names, right?
Well, you would.
I own big, so I would trade it.
He'd trade it.
Thank you.
So what's the show called again, Tim?
Fast Money.
It says it right up there.
Yeah.
Listen, these stocks have been pretty decent trading stocks. The only thing I would say is that this one has not made a new 52-week low, except that the XLF, which is made up by Bank and all of its peers, did make a new 52-week low today. That past support becomes what now, guys?
Resistance.
There you go.
I've done this before.
God, he's played this.
Hug it out, guys.
PayPal, bright spot in the market. Dan, trade it or fade it?
It is a bright spot. And this one actually, relative to Square, which obviously was up a lot more into its highs a couple weeks ago, has showed really good relative strength. I think the earnings were there. I think it's a strong secular name. I think it's growth at a reasonable price. I don't see any reason to exit this one right now if you're long it. So trade it.
Nice.
Netflix. Tim, trade it or fade it?
I've been fading this stock for a long time, unsuccessfully, but it's up 78% this year. We heard that it's down since the earnings. We thought 2018 might be peak churn. It's not. Peak burn. It's not. This company is going to continue to spend an enormous amount on content. The valuation to me is unexplainable, frankly. I get early mover. I get their whole moat, except for the fact that I think Hulu, Amazon, and even Disney are major.
And you didn't mention Apple. Today, the information had a report late in the afternoon saying that Apple will be launching a streaming TV service that's going to compete directly with...
You guys are on the same team on this one?
So nice.
Oh, yeah. Should we hug it out?
Everybody loves Dan tonight.
I know.
Wow,
Everybody
so
loves Dan.
Except Mel.
There was our show.
Well, the deal
Everybody
is
loves
down.
Dan.
Dan tends to, well, yeah.
Dan feels good
There
about
it is.